Have you or someone you know ever struggled with a long-term health condition that affects your day-to-day life? Are you living in the UK and finding it harder and harder to cope, whether physically, emotionally, or even financially, due to a condition that limits your mobility or independence? Well, in what could be a financial lifeline for millions, the Department for Work and Pensions, the DWP, has just released new details that could change everything for those battling musculoskeletal conditions. And the impact could be worth hundreds of pounds every single month. In fact, over 1.1 million adults across Great Britain are already receiving vital support through the Personal Independence Payment, or PIP, due to these very conditions. And you might be eligible too even if you've never applied before. What's more, there are over 85 officially recognised medical conditions that could entitle you to payments of up to £749 every 4 weeks, with the average new claim processed in around 15 weeks. Today, we're going to break it all down. The conditions, the criteria, and how you can take the first step toward claiming what you rightfully deserve. If you're aged between 16 and state pension age, this message is for you. But even if you're older and receiving a pension, keep watching, because we'll explain the full eligibility landscape and how these rules may soon apply to your family or loved ones. Musculoskeletal conditions cover a vast range of physical issues. They include damage, disease, or disorders that affect how we move. We're talking about joints, bones, muscles, ligaments, and even nerves. And what might surprise you is that many of the most common conditions affecting millions across the UK right now are on this list. From osteoarthritis, back pain, and rheumatoid arthritis, to fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, gout, lupus, and dozens more. And crucially, the DWP isn't just looking at what condition you have. It's looking at how that condition impacts your ability to live and move independently. That's the heart of the PIP assessment. And if you live in Scotland, the rules are nearly identical, just under a different name: Adult Disability Payment, or ADP. The difference is in the name, not in the amount of support you receive. Let's talk money. A successful claim can mean receiving between £29, 20p, and £187, 45p each week. That's up to £749, 80p every 4 weeks, tax-free and entirely separate from your earnings or savings. You don't need to be out of work to qualify, and you don't need to be receiving other benefits. This is a standalone support system designed to help you live as independently as possible. So, who exactly qualifies? The latest DWP data confirms that more than 3.7 million people in England, Scotland, and Wales are currently receiving PIP. Out of that, over 1 million people are getting help specifically for musculoskeletal conditions. That includes a staggering list of 87 separate diagnoses ranging from genetic disorders like Marfan's syndrome and osteogenesis imperfecta, to degenerative diseases like spondylosis, scoliosis, and spinal stenosis, to injury complications and post-fracture conditions. Let's explore just how deep this list goes. Do you suffer from osteoarthritis? Whether it's in the hip, knee, spine, or another joint, you could be eligible. Have you been diagnosed with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome, both of which make even basic movement exhausting and painful? You could qualify. How about rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, lupus, or gout? These are all officially recognized. Even less commonly discussed conditions like adhesive capsulitis, also known as frozen shoulder or carpal tunnel syndrome, are on the list. And if you've experienced injuries or had a limb amputated, you could also be eligible. Conditions like compartment syndrome, Sudeck's atrophy, kyphosis, slipped femoral epiphysis, and even chronic non-specific back pain are all considered. The list is comprehensive. And the best part? Even if your specific condition isn't listed by name, that doesn't mean you can't apply. In fact, the DWP is clear. Eligibility for PIP is based on how the condition affects your daily life, not just the label your doctor gives it. So, let's make that clear. You don't need a rare disease or a dramatic diagnosis. If you can't carry out everyday tasks like cooking, dressing, washing, or getting around without help or discomfort, you may be entitled to PIP. And with the cost of living soaring and energy bills showing no sign of falling, this support can be the difference between struggling and surviving. Now, you may be wondering, how long does it take to get support? According to the most recent DWP data, the average processing time for a new PIP claim is about 15 weeks. That's just under 4 months. But if you're terminally ill, the rules change. You can access fast-track applications with quicker decisions and payments. And all of this information is publicly available through the gov.uk website. So let's say you want to begin the process. Where do you start? If you're in England, Wales, or Northern Ireland, you'll need to apply through the DWP's Personal Independence Payment System. In Scotland, applications are processed through Social Security Scotland under ADP. But both systems operate on the same basic principle. You'll be assessed on how your condition affects two key areas: daily living and mobility. Daily living includes things like preparing food, eating, managing medication, washing and bathing, dressing, reading, communicating, and social interaction. Mobility includes planning and following journeys, or physically moving around. Your application will be scored against these activities, and your score will determine your payment rate, either the standard rate or enhanced rate for each area. You can receive support for one or both. And here's something many people don't realize: you can claim PIP or ADP while still working. This isn't like employment and support allowance, which is connected to your work capability. PIP is not means tested, and it doesn't matter how much you earn or whether you're employed. The key question is simple: does your condition make day-to-day living more difficult? If the answer is yes, and your condition has lasted, or is expected to last, for at least 12 months, then it's time to consider applying. You'll typically need to have lived in the UK for at least 2 of the last 3 years, and you must be in the UK when you apply. But beyond that, the barriers to entry are designed to be inclusive, not restrictive. And now, let's pause for a second to reflect on the bigger picture. This isn't just about money. It's about dignity. It's about recognizing the daily battles so many people face quietly, courageously, without support. It's about making sure that the person struggling to climb the stairs, the parent who can't lift their child, the worker who grits their teeth through pain to get through a shift, doesn't have to do it all alone. That's why PIP and ADP exist. To level the playing field. To offer help where it's genuinely needed. And to remind you that no matter how hidden your condition may be, it matters. So if you or someone you know is dealing with any of the conditions we've mentioned or anything similar, the time to act is now. Visit the gov.uk website or contact the DWP directly to start your application. Make sure you gather any medical evidence, and don't be afraid to speak honestly during your assessment. This is your story. And you deserve to be heard. To recap, more than 85 musculoskeletal conditions are now supported by the DWP through PIP and ADP. Millions of people are already receiving vital help, and you could be next. With payments ranging from £116 to nearly £750 every 4 weeks, this support could transform your quality of life. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. We bring you the latest updates from the DWP, HMRC, and the UK government, with everything you need to know about benefits, pensions, cost of living help, and more. Until next time, stay informed, stay supported, and never stop fighting for what you deserve.